What's up, guys? Drew here. Welcome back to Starting Out Solitary. It's week 256, and this week is a special topic for basically social distancing. How is that affecting our practice, and what advice might we have for anyone who is stuck at home? Little disclaimer before we start. This is probably, I would imagine, going to be the only thing I ever say in the online community anywhere about this topic. I do not want to contribute to the topic, honestly. There is so much going on, and I would say 90% of it is negative. There's a little bit of hysteria. I think that's calmed down a bit. I don't know. I try not to engage with any of it, but I know there was. I've heard a lot of complaining, and of course there's a lot of really sad things happening. People losing their job, being laid off from work, and just a lot of hardship and not nice things happening in the world as a result of this virus. And then there is a lot of just people trying to take advantage, scamming, things like that. There's just so much misinformation, and intentional or otherwise. I just don't want to be a part of the conversation. There is some humor and a little bit of positivity going around, but it's such a smaller percentage of what's going on with regards to this topic. So I genuinely do not want to engage and be a part of it. But since it is the special topic for this week, I will make an exception. Kind of begrudgingly, honestly. I don't want to talk about this. But here we go. How is social distancing affecting my path or practice? It isn't at all. I personally am a stay-at-home wife and mother. I run a small business from my home, and so my daily life is exactly as it always has been. I spend a lot of time out in my backyard. Fortunately, I have a nice large backyard. If I lived in an apartment, I'd probably go stir crazy. So I have great compassion for people who do, but I'm fine in my home. As I said, basically nothing has changed for me. I don't go out a lot and do a lot of things. Once a week I go shopping. That's typically what my week looks like. There are exceptions, other times we go out and do special things, go out to dinner, things like that. We're just not doing that. But again, that's not part of my weekly life normally anyway. Those are exceptions. My youngest child is home from school, but he's 17 years old, and it's just like summer vacation. He's just in his room hanging out. He comes out and sits. I don't have to do anything for him. He's fully capable of taking care of himself and doing things on his own. I don't do anything extra that I wouldn't do even if he were at school. As a matter of fact, it's kind of nice because we can spend more time together and talk and whatever, interact. I still go grocery shopping once a week until they tell me I can't. I probably will. We are slowly, gradually, gently stocking up on things, buying a little extra each week than we normally would, rather than going out and buying a whole bunch all at once. One, we can't really afford to do that. And two, this is not what I want to do. I don't want to do that. I want to try and get what I need and a little extra and make sure there's enough for everybody else as well. I'm not trying to be stingy or overreact. I am doing my best to just be prepared, to be rational and logical and be prepared as much as possible and be as careful as possible. I only go out the once a week and do what I need to do as far as I don't touch unnecessary items, and I use hand sanitizer, as soon as I leave the store, and yada, yada, yada. I know that that's not going to prevent me from getting ill if I'm going to get ill, but I have to grocery shop for my family. So all in all, my daily life is exactly as it always has been. I do not watch the news. I stopped watching the news Trump's first year in office because all it did was make me angry and upset and irritable, and it wasn't good for me. So I haven't watched news since his first year in office, and my husband just keeps me updated on anything I need to know. So I'm not watching news. I rarely get on Facebook. I don't really enjoy Facebook. For me, Facebook is more of a tool that is beneficial to my business than anything else. So I'm not constantly on Facebook, so I'm not seeing a bunch of stuff there either. Fortunately, I have good friends, I guess, because the majority of the things coming through my feed, I don't see a lot of political, there's, the odd post that might be political or negative in some way. Most of it is very positive and encouraging or what have you, so I'm not getting a lot there. My life hasn't changed at all. At all. Other than I'm stocking up on extras, little by little. And I am being much more cautious about using hand sanitizer anytime I'm out in public. Anytime I get back in the car from whatever I'm doing, I'm using hand sanitizer. That's weird. I didn't used to do that. That's really how my life has changed. And again, that has nothing to do with my practice at all. My practice is exactly as it's always been. The only thing that has changed with regard to this situation is that I am working magic for it. That's the only way that this virus has touched my magic or my practice or my path at all. As far as tips for people who feel like, who aren't like me and who want to be out in the world all the time and aren't homebodies, who feel like they're trapped at home, I guess my advice would be to dive into your practice, dive into your spiritual path, read some books and meditate and all the things that you're not normally able, that when we're busy in our everyday life and outside of our homes, we tell ourselves we don't have time for. Start working with crystals in a different way than you ever have. Do third eye development exercises or there's just so many things. Learn more about whatever the topic is that you haven't, that you want to, chakras or sacred geometry or high magic or whatever it is, invocation, evocation, just any of the things that you've kind of had on the back burner and wanted to do for the longest time and never had the time, jump on it, jump in full throttle and give it all you've got during this time. That would be hugely beneficial to each of us if we can do that. Okay, so I guess that's basically all I have to say about this. I do want to sum it up by saying I'm not making light of the situation. I am happy to be a little introverted ostrich and have my head in the ground and just live in my own little world as much as possible on the daily, every day. So, that's what I'm doing. I really genuinely hope that all of you are well and that your families are well and that you are taking every precaution necessary to maintain your health and the health of everyone you come into contact with, and that you're not losing your minds or being taken advantage of in some way. I'm going to keep working my magic to try and lend it with all the other witches working their magic and all the other faiths praying their prayers and whatever it is that everybody's doing to try to quickly bring an end to this. So good luck to each of you. Take care. And until next time, much love and gratitude.